What's good, YouTube family? Thank y'all for tuning back into another video. Make sure that y'all like, comment, and subscribe. This puts me more in YouTube's algorithm so that I can continue to reach more people while using the gifts and abilities that God has given me to glorify Him and His name, to spread the gospel, to make Him and His name known. So to get into the tutorial, before I pick up any clipper or trimmer, I want to go ahead and prep the hair. He's getting his hair cut low, but since his hair is so long, instead of combing through his hair so long and thick, instead of combing through it, I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to pick it out. Alright y'all, so what I want you to know is this is a first time client. So as you can see, I had the first guard on. That was a number 3 guard. I wanted to cut it. I didn't want to cut too much off at first because I want to see how his hair was cutting. So I went the number 3 guard first. It didn't cut enough that I needed it to. So I went ahead and I put the number 2. And I'm cutting his hair down with the number 2 guard closed. Make sure that when you're doing the preparation for the haircut, when you're picking it out or combing through it, just the preparation process, that when you're doing it, make sure that you're looking for any light spots in the hair, how the crown lays, if you're cutting wavers, and or just a short haircut, and for any cowlicks. Make sure that you're just studying the head. So y'all can see, I went ahead and I cut his hair down. Then I went and combed through it, and I'm cutting it down again. I'm just making sure and ensuring that everything is one desired length. I went ahead and I washed his hair after I cut it down also. I started giving him a low taper on the side. That's why I bought it out here. I'm not really going to explain it because I ended up giving him a high taper. I honestly kind of wish I would have went with the low taper, or at least next time I cut him, I'm gonna suggest a low taper. So on the back, when I set the ball line in, I'm gonna go ahead and just set it straight across in the back. Make sure that when you set your ball lines in, you set them in nice, clean, neat, and even. You want to make sure that your ball lines are, and pay attention to that, and really this is part of detailing the haircut. And the ball line is the foundation of the haircut, so it's going to play a big factor in determining how clean even of a haircut that you can get. So right here, y'all, the reason I'm fading this beard in first is because my appointment times are 45 minutes. I already spent enough time because I washed his hair, so I already spent more time than I would like to. Usually when I wash people's hair, I charge $100, and it's an hour appointment, and it's a deluxe service, you know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm gonna go ahead and I'm just be productive. Instead of putting them under the dryer, I went ahead and just was like, man, let me just fade this beard in. So I'm gonna explain this side. I have a number 2 guard, then I go to the 1.5. Now I got the blade open. Close it a little, go up a little, close it a little more, go up a little more. Tap that line out. And then y'all can see, this is where I'm gonna set the I'm gonna put this ball line in from the bottom of the vertical bar to the top of the ear. And like I said, cleanliness is next to godliness. Make sure that I keep it nice and clean, neat and even. Cause like I said, the ball line is the foundation of the haircut. It's a very important part of the haircut. Right here with this mustache, I have a number 1 guard on, going with the grain. Go ahead and I'm gonna line up under his beard, tap that line in, clean that area out. He told me where he wanted it, I put it where he wanted it. Make sure that you pay attention to the request of your clients. And then I'll just rinse and repeat, do the same thing on this side, making sure that they're both even on both sides. Tap that beard line up in. Boom. Tap the mustache in. You know, with the mustache, if the client doesn't give you, if he doesn't have a recommendation, or he don't tell you what he wants, just make sure that you make it fit his beard, fit his face. Y'all, this is flicking out, and this is laying the blade flat. So to establish my first guideline, I have my Babyliss Low Pro FX clippers. And to establish my first guideline, I'm gonna flick out, going up about ½ an inch. After I flick out, I'm gonna lay my blade flat and go to the top of that guideline that we just established. The reason I lay my blade flat and go a couple times over is because I want to ensure that all these hairs are the same length. Next, I'm going to close the lever halfway and go halfway up the guideline. Close the lever one more notch and go halfway up the halfway point, or basically just tap that bottom line. Then I'm going to close the lever all the way, tap that bottom line, and take the line out completely. And I believe, in my opinion, the blade open and closed is the most important part of the fade, because it's like the foundation of the fade, and it's going to play a big factor in determining how clean and even and smooth of a fade that you can give. Alright, y'all, so I know I cut the hair down with the number 2 guard closed, so I have a number 2 guard open, and I'm just giving myself room to fade into, just give myself a nice clean area, panel, foundation to fade into. Y'all can see I'm making sure that I comb the hair down after I cut up, because when you cut up, it pushes the hair up. You want to make sure that the hair is laying how it needs to lay, so make sure that you're always combing while you're cutting or brushing. And y'all can see I'm just giving myself room to fade into. Now I have the number 1 guard and I have the blade open, and I'm just going up like an inch. Now I close my lever halfway, go halfway up the guideline. Then I'm going to close my lever all the way and tap that bottom line. And I know it's not going to take that line out completely, but it's going to soften it up so I can come in with my 0 guard and take it out completely. Now with the 1.5 guard, I'm just going to pull this fade together. So I'm not setting no line in with the 1.5, I'm just taking a line out with it. So I'm going to really just go open halfway and closed, and after I go open halfway and closed, I'm going to be doing detail work. And by detail work, I mean lever play, so opening and closing my lever, my blade when need be, and corner work. So using the last couple teeth of my blade or the corner of my blade to pinpoint dot spots and bring them to the light and make the fade smooth. Alright, y'all, now we had a 0 guard on, and with the 0 guard I look at it as an eraser guard or a detail guard. So with the 0 guard on net, it's just like the 1.5. I never put a line in with it, I only take lines out with it, so it's a detail guard to me. Therefore, with the 0 guard, I'm going to be doing detail work. And like I said before, by detail work, I mean lever play, so open and closing my lever when need be, and corner work. So using the last couple of teeth of my blade or the corner of my blade to pinpoint dark spots, bring them to the light, and make the fade as smooth as possible. And y'all can see, man, I'm just picking these little spots out. Y'all can see how clean this fade is turning out from me. Detail work is what's going to set you apart as a barber as far as the cutting aspect, because there's a lot more aspects of barbering than just cutting. But y'all can see I'm just being patient with it, taking my time, and just making sure everything's pulled together. You already know what I like to get into on this side, so without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the message. My message for today comes from Matthew 25 verses 14 through 32. For the kingdom of heaven is like a man traveling to a far country, who has called his own servants and delivered his goods to them. And to one he gave 5 talents, and to another 2, and to another 1, to each according to his own ability. And immediately he went on a journey. Then he who had received 5 talents went and traded with them, and made another 5 talents. And likewise he who received 2 talents gained 2 more also. But he who had received 1 went and dug in the ground and hid his Lord's money. After a long time, the Lord of those servants came and settled accounts with them. So he who had received 5 talents came and brought 5 other talents, saying, Lord, you delivered to me 5 talents. Look, I have gained 5 more talents besides them. His Lord said to him, Well done, good and faithful servant. You were faithful over a few things. I will make you ruler over many things. Enter into the joy of your Lord. He also who had received 2 talents came and said, Lord, you delivered me 2 talents. Look, I have gained 2 more talents besides them. His Lord said to him, Well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful over a few things. I'll make you ruler over many things. Enter into the joy of your Lord. Then he who had received the 1 talent came and said, Lord, I knew you to be a hard man, reaping where you have not sown, and gathering where you have not gathered seed. And I was afraid, and went and hid your talent in the ground. Look, there you have what is yours. But his Lord answered and said to him, You wicked and lazy servant, you knew that I reap where I have not sown, and gather where I have not gathered the seed. So you ought to have deposited my money with the bankers, and at my coming I would have received back my own with interest. Therefore take the talent from him and give it to him who has 10 talents. For to everyone who has, more will be given, and he will have abundance. But from him who does not have, even what he has will be taken away. And cast the unprofitable servant into the outer darkness. There will be weeping and gnashing of teeth, when the Son of Man comes in his glory, and all his holy angels with him. Then he will sit on the throne of his glory. All the nations will be gathered before him, and he will separate them one from another, as a good shepherd divides his sheep from the goats. Y'all, the reason that I chose this message for today is because it just resonates. Like, when God tells you to do something, when he gives you gifts and abilities that he's called you to use for his glory, make sure that you're doing what he's called you to do. Make sure that you're using the gifts and abilities that God has given you to glorify him in his name, to spread the gospel, and to make him and his name known. For you to grow closer to him, you to lead others to him, and you to help others get to know him more. But yeah, that's my message for today, man. Make sure that you're being productive and using the gifts and abilities that God has given you to spread the gospel, to say, do, and be more and better for God each and every day, and to be more Christ-like each and every day. To me, I say this all the time. As believers, we all have the same purpose. That's spread the gospel, make God and his name known, and to glorify him in his name at all times. The thing that separates us is our calling. So make sure that you're doing what it takes and doing your part to fulfill your calling, because God's part's already done. He's going to tell you what to do, and it's up to you to do it. I hope that y'all enjoyed this message. So right here, y'all, as barbers, you're an artist. An artist never paints on a dirty canvas. Make sure you never cut on a dirty canvas. So that's why I go ahead and I wipe everything that I'm going to be lining up just to clean it. I'm going to go ahead, take some hairspray. This is Tresemme, I believe, volume 4 or 5. I would say it's 5. Then I'll spray. After I spray it like I just did, I spray the hairspray on the next strip, and I just wipe everything in the direction I need it to lay to make the lineup, just to prepare the lineup. This is all lineup preparation. And I'm pressing and I'm stretching this hair forward. So you want to work smarter, not harder. I'm going to go ahead and make sure it's dry. Next, I'm going to comb the hair just to stretch it out one more time. Make sure everything is laying how I need it to. And then I'm going to start by tapping in my slant. Y'all can see I'm using my left hand for this. Then, once I get to around the top of the ear, I'm going to convert from using my blade flat to using the last couple teeth of my blade or the corner of my blade to make that arch shape around the ear. And notice how you don't want to push this lineup back. You want to keep it as natural as possible. The key and the thing that's going to help you with your lineups is keeping them as natural as possible and making them crispy as possible. But you don't have to push them back to make them crispy. Y'all can see, boom, it's simple. Y'all can see how these low pros hitting too. And make sure that you always solidify your lineup. By solidifying your lineup, I mean you put your first initial lineup in, and then you go over it multiple times, combing the hair forward and cutting any overhanging hairs so that there aren't any overhanging hairs. And this right here, y'all, is a technique I like to do when I don't really put C-cups in. I do this sometimes. I guess this is something I do when I'm bored. But I like to, when people who have lighter vertical bars like that, I like to put it in with a razor to give me a better visual, and it helps you to not push the liner back. If y'all watch my videos before, you know I like to do my lineups. I like to start in the middle and work my way to the side. So that's exactly what I'm doing here. Sorry that I'm in the way of the camera, y'all. I'm making these videos. Like I said, my appointment times are 45 minutes, and it's hard just to make content in the first place. So to do it with a short time frame too, it makes it even more difficult. So forgive me for any angles that aren't what they're supposed to be in this video. But I'm definitely working on, constantly getting better content for y'all. I really need to start putting my face in the camera more. I need an intro too. So if any of y'all know how to make a website, holler at me about that too. Y'all can see I'm just rinse repeating, doing the same thing on this side, making sure that it matches up. With the beard lineup, he wanted to keep it higher. I think he had got pushed down. Like I said, this is the first time that I cut him personally, so you know, he told me he wanted to make it high as possible, so that's what I'm gonna go ahead and do. I put it in first, and I'm gonna clear the cheek in the hair. Then I'm gonna put my next lineup in, and this is gonna be my official one. Y'all can see that thing crispy. Go ahead and tap in his mustache. Hit the top of his mustache. Ask your client to pull down their lip like you see him doing. And then go ahead and throw in some fibers. And after I put fibers in, I like to comb them through just because I think it spreads them out a little more and gives it a more natural look instead of it being caked up. And then when you line the fibers up, make sure that you put them in the lineup that you already have created. You don't want to push the hairline back. Make sure you keep it in the line you've already created, and just line them up and be careful when you're doing it. Tap the back of his beard in with this. Y'all, these little details like tapping the back of his beard line up in with the razor like that, and then the mustache, that little stuff like that really goes a long way. I just recently started doing this type of stuff, so just those two things. I just recently started doing the mustache and the back of his beard line with the razor, or back of beard lines with the razor. I just started doing it. I've known about it for a long time, but I just started doing it. But it definitely makes a big difference. Right here, y'all, I'm just going back in, detailing a little more. Y'all can see this thing is crispy. Alright, y'all, if y'all was able to sit through this 17 to 18 minute video with me, I truly appreciate y'all. If y'all came because you just like watching barber videos, I hope that you were satisfied. If you came to learn something, I hope that you take something from my game and apply it to yours and advance in your career, in your craft, in your life. And if you came for the message, I hope that it reached you and it touched your heart, your soul, your mind, and your body. And I hope that you grow closer to God and continue to get better and to say, do and be more better for me each and every day. And I pray that you all say, do and be all God has called you to say, do and be. I'm humble at Jesus' feet. Without Jesus, I'm nothing but a filthy rag at the side of God, and I cannot do anything. With Jesus, I am the righteousness of God, and I can do all things. All the power, glory, and honor, and praise be to God. And man, let me know what y'all think about this cut in the comment section. Make sure that y'all, once again, make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. This puts me more in YouTube's algorithm so I continue to grow and to reach more people while using the gifts and abilities that God has given me to glorify Him in His name, to spread the gospel, make Him and His name known. Let me know what y'all think about this cut in the comment section. I appreciate y'all, and God bless.